Rolling, speed.
And go ahead. Marker.
The clapper.
Clap them if you got them.
Hey, it's Mike Pagel, former Browns quarterback, here on Pagel On Point, where we talk about your Browns. If you're that much off and what you're trying to do, you're going to get beat. You have to be very precise to succeed in the NFL. That creates a little bit more of a problem for Colt McCoy because he has to be that much more precise than a Brandon Weeden does. Every guy wants to score touchdowns in the NFL. If you're a guy that you feel like you're on a bubble, don't worry about the numbers. You just make yourself better every day. It's when you start thinking in the NFL that you lose. By the time you think it, somebody's knocking your head off. Mass times speed equals pain for a receiver.
Get on point today.
Just start riffing, you know.
In the NFL, everybody's pretty equal. Speed, speed, speed. They can all run. I don't care if they're wide receivers, defensive backs, running backs, offensive linemen, defensive linemen. They can all run appropriately well for their positions. So the game is about speed. Therefore, as a player, you have to be very precise. The margin for error is not very big. If you're that much off and what you're trying to do, you're going to get beat. And that doesn't matter whether we're talking about the passing game and the quarterback delivering the football on time, the receiver getting to the right spot. When the route says you go 18 yards and break, you go 18 yards and break, not 19. If you go to 19, you're too slow. The ball will whiz right by. If you go to 17, you're waiting for the football to get there as a receiver. You have to be very precise to succeed in the NFL. Your margin for error is not very good because the guys you're playing against, they're very talented football players. They're reading you. They know how to close. They know how to make things happen. They're studying you. They're professionals also. You don't have much margin for error, and that's why we see things where a guy will do something you think, well, why did he do that? He didn't do it on purpose. He was that much too late, and that's why he failed. That's why, as a quarterback, it is vitally important that you have to get the football to the receiver at the right time when he's making his break. One of the things that Brandon Weeden has is that big, strong arm, and that's going to allow him the opportunity to do a couple of things. One, stand in the pocket and hold the ball just a little bit longer. But most importantly, he's able now to deliver the football to the wide receivers with that velocity. So receivers love to have the ball in the air, almost to their hands as soon as they turn, because they understand the maximum separation between them and the defensive back occurs right when the wide receiver makes his break. He wants the football there in his hands. Every wide receiver in the NFL thinks that they're a running back. They believe that if the ball gets in their hands with enough time, they can turn and they can make that defender miss, and they want to score. Every guy wants to score touchdowns in the NFL, especially wide receivers. With a guy like Brandon Weeden, he's able to turn and let the ball go. With that velocity, receiver turns, it's right there. The worst thing you can do as a quarterback is make that receiver turn and wait for the football because he knows somebody's coming. They don't like waiting for that football. So a guy that doesn't have that big booming arm has to learn how to deliver the football quicker. Yes, and you'll get a couple of hamburgers, okay? We'll take care of you. You're not going to starve around here. Very nice.
Yeah, he loves it.
Very nice. Colt McCoy needs to deliver the ball just a split second sooner than a guy like Brandon Weeden would have to because of Weeden's strength. That creates a little bit more of a problem for Colt McCoy because he has to be that much more precise than a Brandon Weeden does. Is there anything that says that a guy like Brandon Weeden with his great big arm is going to be successful? No, because there have been a lot of guys in the NFL with big booming arms that you don't know where the ball is going. There's parents taking their kids off the street when some of these guys started throwing because it was going all over. We didn't know who was going to get hit with it.
Had your kids, had your wife.
Does it mean that if you don't have a very good arm that you can't be a good NFL quarterback? No. Joe Montana, case in point, won about 9,000 Super Bowls. Did not have a great arm. I don't think he could break a pane of glass from 30 feet away. Didn't matter. Very accurate. Never was off balance when he threw the football. He knew the game extremely well, and all he did was win Super Bowls. That's the quarterback's attention to detail that he needs to have. It's all about timing. It's all about precision. The offensive line knows they have so much time to protect you. When you run a running play, the running back has that specific timing. If he's too fast, the hole won't have opened yet. If he's too slow, the hole would have opened and closed. So the speed and the timing has to be precise. The most important thing when you're playing quarterback is delivering the football to the receiver as soon as he breaks in a position where he can catch it on a consistent basis. If you do that in the NFL as a quarterback, I don't care if you have a big arm or a weak arm, doesn't matter. You're going to win a lot of football games. It's all about precision, timing, and being professional and doing it over and over and over again. If you don't do that, you're going to be inconsistent, and inconsistency in the NFL is a killer. Yeah, everybody says that there's a quarterback controversy. There's not. At this point in the season, it's basically Whedon number 1, his job to keep, McCoy number 2, his job to keep. We'll see what happens from there.
Get on point! Get on point! Get on point!
That's a wrap.